Good evening and welcome to the debut of the Tweets of Laredo. I think that's the name that everybody kind of like settled on, the Tweets of Laredo podcast. I am your host, Key Rose, and with me is Wolverine DG. Hello and welcome, Wolverine.
Hi. Nice to see everybody after so long.
Right.
Yeah.
And let me go to, wait, let me minimize something real quick. And we have Que Fregados. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Good to
Glad
hear.
to join in.
Awesome. Let me see. Lazy Laredoan. How's everything?
Everything's great. Just checking this out and trying not to look diabetic. Somehow people are. So anyways, looking forward to this and let's see where it goes.
Cool. And thank you so much for being with me today. I was kind of like hoping, I hope somebody shows up for this podcast because I don't want to go solo. But yeah, with everything going on right now, I thought it was the perfect time to connect with friends, and especially like with some of the Twitter friends, the Twitter community. I think we had been wanting to do this for a while now, and I thought something was going to happen like during the election, which was like what, 3 or 4 weeks ago, or something like that. But yeah, to connect with friends and to discuss issues. And so of course, COVID right now, raging and everything, it seems. So I wanted to start with maybe if you could, share a little bit of your experience. We'll start with Wolverine. How are you coping with COVID-19 right now? I think her connection
Might be frozen.
might have frozen a little bit. Okay. So
You know what? I can pinch.
hmm
I can pinch him.
Okay. Well, go ahead. Yes. Go
Say
ahead. Que fregados?
Wait, there she is. Hey, Wolverine, are you back and you ready to answer?
Yeah. From what I could tell, it was something about COVID-19 and how we're coping.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm doing okay. All things considered. With my brother passing away last week, and so I'm having to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time. I mean, I've had anxiety for a while, but I've never had to take medication for it. And sometime in the summer, I was not getting sleep at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to start. I had to find a doctor and get prescribed medication so that I could sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still waking up like every 3 hours, every 4 hours,
Mm-hmm.
instead of like every 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to stay as much to myself as possible, but because of the situation with my brother and where he lives or lived, I'm having to go to Houston this weekend to start getting that taken care of.
Mm-hmm. And are you gonna drive? What kind of preparations are you making?
And they want to have a memorial service next. Thank you, Mac. I just don't. On the one hand, I know I should go, but on the other hand, I don't feel I should because it's insane right now with COVID-19, and I don't want to catch it. I'm planning to go to Seattle for Christmas just because I have to see someone in my family this year,
Mm-hmm.
or I'll go crazy, especially after what just happened with my younger brother.
Right.
I honestly don't know if I'm going to be there for the memorial.
Yeah.
And it's killing me having to make that decision.
Yeah, no, it's tough because you have like family obligations, but with everything, I mean, you're having to second guess all your plans and everything. So we really hope that it all works out and that you can connect with your family, during these trying times.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm just glad Biden is going to be president starting in January. I wish he was president now.
Right.
Because finally we'll have someone who's taking it seriously.
Seriously, of course. Que fregados, you want to share some of your daily experiences?
Sure, yeah. Well, as you know, I'm a counselor. So even before the pandemic, my plan had been to do telemental health, which is over the internet. So I already had all the setup. I was already, um, I was already doing that. So it was an easy transition because I work from home, and I know that your audience can't see, but this is what my clients usually see. It's
Mhm.
just it is my home. It is my office. Um, I also work the crisis line, so I understand Wolverine and her concerns, and my condolences to you, because these are hard times for a lot of people. So in the crisis line, we see a lot of, or I shouldn't say we see, it's a texting crisis line. So we get a lot of people who are really struggling with anxiety, with depression. Things are popping up that never we hadn't thought about in the past, and having to deal with things that we just didn't expect. And every time I log on to social media, someone else has lost another family member. And even though people say it's only this percentage of people, it's still a loss. It
Right.
is still a tremendous hurt that I think a lot of people are going through. But leaving all that aside, me personally, I've packed on more weight, but I'm generally up. I'm generally in an upbeat mood. I'm not. I do have a difficulty in that I go to a lot of meetings and I'm very social in that way. Although I'm really, really shy, I do attend a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
So it's been a little different, but it's all been manageable. But one of the things that I think is really a plus is the use of technology and how it's impacted our lives. For example, for Thanksgiving, it's just Alex and myself. So rather than go back to Chicago with my parents, where in past years I would have, we're actually going to have a big family reunion over Zoom. And it's going to be on my mother's side because that's the largest of the family. So we are going to be Zooming in from different states in Mexico, California, Nevada, Colorado, Illinois, Texas, for just 1 hour to be together for Thanksgiving, which is, not, that wouldn't happen in an average year. So I think there's been, we've found our resiliency in a lot of the actions that we take. And I think we sometimes need to not forget how we've been able to overcome, whether it's mask mandates, whether it's staying away from, others for 6 feet or more. We have been a resilient population, and we've put up with a lot in these, not just these last 4 years, but in the last pandemic year. But we've put up with a lot, and I think we're going to come out okay. It's just there's going to be a lot of hurt, and the changes that are happening. We're just learning to deal with them and moving on.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, mental health is a big part of this, and like I wonder what effect it's going to have, like on us, on kids, people that are missing out on a lot of these things. So yeah, I guess time will tell.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on to lazy Laredo, and how is life besides people trying to sell you anti-diabetic drugs?
Yes, very interesting. First of all, first and foremost, I wanted to give my sincere condolences to Wolverine. Sorry about your brother's loss.
Thank you.
And as far as COVID, well, shit. I mean, we've been at it for 8 months, and people just don't give a crap. I mean, that's what I see. I mean, I have 2 essential jobs, right? I mean, my primary job, I'm working from home. Not a big deal. They take care of us. We take care of them. And I don't have to mingle with people at all. But my secondary job, part-time, and at first I thought I take care of myself. I shouldn't have a problem. And my brother got infected in June, and I honestly God thought he was gonna die. He lives in Houston, and that's when it was really hot over there. I mean, it was bad. I mean, folks were just it was terrible. And so, anyways, I spoke with him briefly because he could either he spoke or he needed to breathe. It was one or the other. So if he was speaking, he was choking, and seriously, I thought that was going to be the end of it for him. And he's only 5 years older than me, so not that I'm super young or anything, but I mean, come on, I mean, it's not even 54.
Right.
The guy's gonna, kick the bucket. And
Yeah.
so, anyways, that was pretty hard, but he came back and still has some effects from COVID. Can't catch his breath and stuff like that. So, like I was saying, 8 months after all this thing, and folks just take it for granted. They think that's just a little cold or whatever. And what I find crazy is all these, I see a lot of elderly folks out in the street, and I'm like, what the fuck, oh, can you tell me where the poinsettias are? It's like, dude, are you fucking crazy? It's
How
like,
can you think of that?
I was like, are you nuts? And I'm not one to tell him anything, but I'm like, you surely, I tell him nicely, you really should be at home.
Right.
Try to take care of yourself. So, anyways, back to me. So, on August 17th, man, I just came down with a fever, and it was bad.
Yeah.
So immediately, I just told my family, stay the hell away, because I don't know what I got. Next morning, I go get tested, and sure enough, crazy thing is, I didn't get the results for a week. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you a true story here. So this damn disease is so effing weird. So that's a Monday. Monday the 17th. Boom. I get something. I was going to work, double back, hit the shower, take the Tylenols, and hey, we're executing the plan, because we already had the plan. And the plan was, you're gonna isolate yourself in the bedroom. That's the end of that. So go in the bedroom, take a shower, take some pills, lie down, and I'm telling my wife, like, hey, just stay away. It's not a joke, just tell the kids don't come over here. And I'm sorry you hear a dog on the outside.
That's fine.
So I'm there, and next morning, I was just burning up all night. Next morning, boom, go get the test. And I asked, hey, how long does it take? He goes, oh, it takes about 3 days. Fine. So a week later, I get the damn results. I'm like, what the heck, And all this time, I don't know what I have. I still isolated myself somewhat because, and I'll be straight up with everyone, man. I got the shits, and I got a freaking fever that was kicking my ass. I got up to I peaked at 105.2 after a nap. I took a nap. I was fine when I took the nap. I was at 102. All of a sudden, I just woke up briefly, man. And I'll tell you something. There's a point I didn't realize. There's a point where you're just burning up so damn much. It's like it doesn't matter how much water you splash on yourself, or how much cold, how many liquids you drink or whatever. It has almost no effect. And I was just walking around in my underwear basically, and I didn't feel any difference. So, anyways, at that point, I just packed some. Told my wife, just, hey, get me some Ziploc bags full of ice, and I tucked them underneath my pits and my groin, and that did it. That drops your temperature because of the the way circulation runs in your body. And anyways, that was 2 days of just high fevers, and then boom, it was gone. Just like it started, and I can remember the time, 2:30, second day, or it stopped dead in its track. It's like, what the hell is this shit? I mean, it wasn't gradual. It was just like burning up, and then boom, it stops.
A big stop.
I'm like, what the hell is that? So the runs, I still kept them for a week. So I'm thinking here, shit, whatever I had is gone. Probably had a stomach virus. So I'm out and about day 3, walking around the house, still kind of like telling the kids, hey, kind of stay away. But I'm walking out and about without a mask. I'm sitting at the dinner table. I'm still eating a sandwich. Nobody gets sick. Nobody else got sick, which is freaking weird. It goes against everything you've heard about the CDC and all this stuff. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Every case is different. But I'm telling you, I was not social distancing. I didn't have a face cover. And in fact, I had my hair cut here in the house and I didn't infect anyone, which is weird effing stuff. You're
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
dang, dude. I mean, that's why this is something else, man. It really is. It's not your normal virus.
Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
but it's just
It's
very,
unpredictable. Hmm.
yeah, it's you, and you can't let your guard down just because this is my experience. This is my personal experience. Everyone's going to be different, and I would not advise anyone like, hey, okay, your fever's gone, everything's going to be fine. No, it's not. No,
Hmm.
so still you got to isolate for now it's the 10 days and stuff like that, and I would definitely advise that. So day 7 comes around, I'm positive, and I'm like, holy shit. So I go back to isolation and stay there for another 7 days, and I didn't get retested until my 21st day because my doc told me, hey, you're gonna have to wait 21 days. So that was cool with me. I was like, hey, better be safe than sorry. Might as well have this thing just flush out of my system. I don't want to get tested at 14 days and then wait another so many days and then get tested again. So that was fine.
Yeah.
Something I did notice is that doctors really, at least my doctor, didn't point me in the right direction as far as you're positive, dude. Here's some mental health help you can get or assistance or what have you. And I didn't get that. So everything I got was through Twitter and online and just watching a lot of Hulu. And American Pickers got me through it. And so did Forged in Fire. So that's what I watched. That was my therapy. Fucking sucks being by yourself. Your fucking brain goes bonkers sometimes. And but hey, that's just the way it is. You got to suck it up and muscle your way through it.
Right.
And so now let's see, on the 17th I was 90 days free. Unfortunately, I've still have they call them sequelias. I mean, I still have some after effects.
Hmm.
Palpitations. They hit me about a month after. Went in for that. Saw a cardiologist. Told me everything's fine. Uh, I'm taking a new drug because I didn't need it, but now I'm taking it just
Yeah.
in case.
Yeah.
And extreme fatigue. I have this sessions of just extreme fatigue. I'll be fine. I'll wake up, boom, doing what I'm doing, and then it just kicks my ass. And there's no time duration for it. It could be 10 minutes or it can be 6, 7 hours.
Yeah.
And
And
Wow.
and yeah, it kicks your ass, man, and it's bad. I mean, this week I've been good. Last week was the perros. It was bad, man. I honestly, I could hardly get. Thank God I'm working out of the house, my primary job,
mhm.
because I can be in bed and still use my laptop. But other than that, man, it was it
Yeah.
was it was pretty bad. And there's, uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the story is still being told about this virus. Like we don't know what's going to happen with the vaccine. Studies are going to go on like years later and stuff, and like we could still be here like 2 years from now, and like you say, we're still going to be feeling the effects, whether like physically, emotionally, mentally, and
And
everything.
I
And
think
so it's
I
it's
think people, and I know I'm taking a lot of time here, but folks need to understand that this thing not only will it kick your ass when you're sick, when you have it, but soon after it's gone. I
right.
mean, and for a long, long time, it's going to be there. And there's no way of knowing that if you're going to be a long hauler, the 20% who are long haulers, or the 20% that get their heart scarred, or the 20% that get mental illness.
Right.
Sometimes I'll have, I'll lose my, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll be up for 2 hours, and all of a sudden I'll get sleepy again. And what the hell are you gonna do about it? Again, I'm learning to deal with it. I was taking an anxiety med, and I said, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna be taking that stuff." I mean, I
Right.
didn't mean more junk to my system. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
bad enough as it is naturally.
And, and
So,
and and that's one of the thing one of the issues that I take with like when they report in the media, and I'm not like bad mouthing the media, but when they say that now we have so many thousand people that tested positive, but 10,000 recovered. Well, the word recovered sounds well and good and everything, but we don't really get a full picture about all these after effects, like you say, and everything. And so it's something that like I don't really take lightly when they report those types of numbers with the recovery.
Correct. And that goes, I was speaking with my sobrino yesterday. He's 19, he's going to TAMU. One of his friends got it, and he's having the same symptoms I'm having. So it's bullshit that the young population is not suffering from this, because they are. And they'll get fatigue as well, and they can get their heart scarred as well, and they can have mental illness develop after this. So it's a serious thing, and folks need to get off of that idea that, oh, okay, I go into quarantine for 2 weeks, and I'm going to be badass after that. Bullshit.
Yeah. Well, let me go back to Wolverine, and you mentioned Biden. I saw him today giving an address of, telling people stay home, social distance and all this stuff. And so that's sort of like a hopeful sign that, okay, now competent people are in charge. And so like, is there anything in the middle of all this that gives you hope or gives you strength, to deal with your days? What helps you cope?
Just knowing that we are about 60 days away from someone who actually gives a damn about this country.
Yeah.
In the early days of the pandemic, back in March, April, and May, the only thing that was keeping me sane was Andrew Cuomo's daily pressers.
All right.
And what I noticed was at the very beginning, his presser went on at noon, New York City time. So it was 11 o'clock here. And then right after that, they would put the presser from the White House. And at first I wasn't really paying attention because I was working. Yes, boss, I really was working. Listening to the TV and working. Yes, honest. Yeah. And I hear somebody talking and complete sentences and what they're saying makes sense, and then the next minute it's circus time. Well, for about a week or so, they ran the press conferences from the White House right after Andrew Cuomo's, and the difference was striking.
Right.
I thought personally, George W. Bush was the dumbest man to ever be president, but he at least spoke complete sentences.
Well,
and I think deep down he really did care, or really does care about our country. But this guy, he only cares about himself. If he could sell his kids, he would.
Yeah.
And all of this. So anyway, back to what your question was. What's keeping me going is I know there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not an oncoming train.
Right.
It's the Biden administration, and they're going to be doing for us what should have been done last year.
Right.
And if you look at how the numbers were going towards the end of April and May, when all of the Trump supporters were having their little temper tantrums, we almost had this, at least in Texas, we almost had this virus nipped in the bud. Our numbers were really low. The transmission rate was way under one person infecting another person. It was actually like I think it was close to 0.5.
Yeah. Which
is like negligible. But no, everybody had to go get their hair cut, and they had to go to bars, and they had to go to restaurants, and that's when our numbers shot up, and we haven't been back to those numbers ever since.
Yeah, that's it's not looking good now, but let's que fregados. How are you keeping sane?
Nature.
Naturally
sane.
Taking walks.
No. I just think I look forward to working with people, and I look forward to, I'm working on dissertation, which actually maybe that's not the most positive point right now because I'm very, very, very behind. But I enjoy the work that I do. I enjoy the volunteer work that I do. I enjoy the community that I live in. But I was going to make a point to Wolverine's comment about the resistance that you saw with people who didn't want to wear masks when it comes to the vaccine. I don't know if a lot of people are talking about it, but I also predict there's going to be a lot of people who don't want to take that vaccine.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a long haul, and I think a lot of people are assuming that it's a cure-all. It's going to have it under control, but the reality is rollout is going to take a long time because of the nature of the vaccine. And yes, they've applied for exemptions for this December, but from transportation to from transportation to distribution to who's going to go first to whether people actually want to take it or not, I think it's gonna be a while that we're wearing masks, and I think we need to prepare ourselves and make them part of our everyday wear, and yes, give them as gifts for the holidays.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
I think masks are here to stay. I mean,
Yeah.
it's something that came from Asia, and they were doing it for a long time. I guess because of the high population density during cold and flu season, they would all put on masks.
Right.
which I'm actually grateful for because I don't want the flu either. I don't want a cold.
Yeah.
I don't want all the other things that are transmissible, from our mucous membranes from.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
and one of the things that I, like to do is, of course, work out in my yard and everything, be outside because, you're cooped up inside and you're at work or here. And it's like, you want to be outside. And I'm wearing my mask even outside, even if I'm by myself because of windy days and allergies and stuff like that. So yeah, for me, I'm going to wear my mask for, the unforeseeable future.
but you know what? The other thing is, you guys also keep me sane. So you guys keep me laughing on Twitter. I really appreciate the laughter.
Well, and you know what? Like, just like for anybody who has any preconceptions about me, like, please don't take me seriously because I'm an idiot. So, but thank you, thank you for following me and for all the likes and everything. Let's move on because I think we don't have that much time as the meeting might cut off soon, maybe like in another 7 minutes. Let's Soggy, lazy Laredoan, what keeps you happy and sane and uplifted?
Finishing my damn palapa. That's what's keeping me going right now.
It keeps you busy. Yeah.
That's gonna be the worst thing ever, right? Anticlimactic life of Sagi Taco, right? Passing away before the damn palapa is done. But that's yeah. I found it early on that I needed to keep my mind occupied, and that was a really good project to continue. I had already started last year, and for whatever reason, I kind of got lazy, and hence the name. Anyways, so I thought that let me get my partner over here. So, anyways,
Hello.
Chico's joining us. So, anyways, I thought get your mind occupied and work on a project and have some type of plan and keep going and keep going. And so that's where I'm at right now. I mean, obviously, family and all the default stuff, the ganas to live, the ganas to make a difference, and all this and that. Really wanted to touch really quick on a couple items. One, I want to Abbott rollout. Abbott rollout came out a couple days ago. So first responders and the health community, they're gonna get supposedly first, and then so that's number one. Number two would be essential workers. So I have two shots at it. Let's see if the private sector or the public sector gets it first. I'm just curious. I'm rolling my dice. Let's see who gets it first.
Right.
I think state agencies are gonna be high up the list because we work with a lot of people.
Oh yes. So that's where right now I'm not gonna say where my money is at, but I'm curious to find out who's gonna get it. If big box stores versus state agencies. Let's see what happens. But anyways, let's see. Biden administration. Looking forward to that. But we can't let our guard down. We got our ass kicked in November. The Senate was ours, and we fucked it up. So anyways, organize and get the bums out. We need to continue that. And finally, no estoy cantando Victoria, but que fregados. I imagine she has full COVID immunity. I'm not sure. And last I read, I might have it for, I've heard, a decade. So I hope the study's right.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I need to donate blood to find out if I still got those antibodies. It's not 100% spot on, but the studies are showing that. Anyways, yield my time.
Yeah. No, that's good. And you know what? Like with your little the Palapa, your construction project there. One of the things that my cousin said, that he works with a lot of contractors and they do all these remodeling and you know, house projects. He said that like during this period, for some reason, that his business was doing really well, that a lot of people were hiring them for house projects. I hired him to do the what?
They're home.
Yeah, because like they're spending more time there, and I guess maybe they're not spending their money at the movies and at bars and at restaurants. They have more dispensable money, so they're actually taking on all these home improvement projects. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
That's true, but I'm gonna tell you something. The price of lumber has doubled, so it's freaking expensive. If you want a little palapita, it ain't gonna cost you $10,000 anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna cost you a good 16, 17 grand. I'm not kidding. 2x4 went from 225 to almost $6. You know, a board of OSB went from 1025 to 22 something. So you're gonna pay through the nose, and I'm concerned what's gonna happen to the housing market now. That's my concern, because think about it. Lumber goes up, everything else is gonna go up, and once it goes up, it ain't gonna come down.
Well, on the bright side is that the price of gasoline is sort of a little bit lower. I think it was 166 per gallon or something.
Oh, okay.
So
I haven't been out this week, so I don't know what the price of gas is.
Well, yeah.
I haven't had to fill up my tank since September.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All righty. I think I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much again, you guys. Like I said, hopefully we'll have other voices check in with us next time. It is going to be a podcast. Hopefully I can keep this going on a weekly basis. We'll see. And next time we can touch on some other things like local issues, politics, whatever, the WBCA, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Fun stuff.
That's going to be a month's worth of shows.
Yeah, right.
And we should be really adding pressure to local authorities, put really their feet to the fire and see where their priority is. This is foolish to try to have all these damn activities when we know that the rollout's not going to be even started for the general population, and we're just putting people at risk.
You know, and I'm wondering how the Macy's Day Parade is going to be tomorrow, or that's going to be.
It's a virtual parade.
It's a virtual parade?
Yeah, I think they've got the balloons lined up somewhere, and they're just, I don't know, maybe a football field or something, and the cameras are going to be there, but there's not going to be a crowd. I don't think it's down 42nd Street.
Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing.
Wait, Max said something. It's on 34th Street. So maybe they're just going to be marching in front of Macy's.
Everybody.
Which is the store that sponsors it. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, thank you all for this is the debut, and thank you, Wolverine and Que Fregados and Lazy Laredo, and we are going to keep in touch, and hopefully we'll keep this thing going. I'm just going to wait for the screen to go blank. I don't know how this works. So anyway, good night, and yeah, stay safe.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, Laredo.
Good night.